Story time. Yesterday I decided that I would be making Danganronpa themed playing cards, and now here we are. So I decided that I'd make a video out of it, and if you're here for Undertale Yellow content, do not worry, I have something in the making for you guys. But for now, please enjoy this video, and if you like what you're seeing, I put a lot of effort into this so far, so if you want to like and subscribe, that would be awesome. And enjoy the video. To use two websites to determine the meanings for the cards because I felt like I would get a better answer for what each card meant, and it would be easier to narrow down who fit what cards, but at the same time it was a lot harder too. However, the Ace of Spades was the easiest to assign because it meant endings and misfortune along with significant change. And I felt who better than Junko Enoshima from Trigger Happy Havoc. Junko definitely to me screams misfortune, especially with the entire killing game, as well as endings, because at the end she does in fact get executed. So she was the perfect Ace of Spades, and she was also my experimental card, because I had no idea if this style was going to work, but lo and behold, it did in fact work out. And so Junko was then the Ace of Spades. And you'll see in the background that I added in the spears that were used to stab quote-unquote Junko after Sayaka's death. And that was it. So based on what I read, the Four of Spades symbolizes illness, broken promises, but also a release from such illness. And the first person that popped into my head was Kaito Momota from Danganronpa V3. Kaito, for those who do not know, is the ultimate astronaut, and in the end, he did pass away during his execution from a disease which he had, which fits in with the illness part of the Four of Spades. As for broken promises, I thought of his relationship with Shuichi and also Maki, and felt like maybe they did feel kind of betrayed by him when he turned out to have been Kokichi's murderer. So that was some of my reasoning behind why he is the Four of Spades. And as you will see, I had a lot of fun with the ultimate astronaut aspect of Kaito. So I put some stars in his eyes and hair along with the background, and I definitely had a lot of fun with drawing him, especially with the inside of his jacket. And that was basically it. Speaking of Danganronpa V3, the Eight of Spades represents obstacles that might require you to make an important decision, but more importantly, it symbolizes deceit and lies. And who better than to represent deceit and lies than Kokichi Ouma from Danganronpa V3? I will say that this card took me 2 attempts. I actually scrapped the original one because it just didn't turn out how I wanted it to, but I was definitely a lot happier with this second attempt. And I think the hardest part of it was definitely his bandana. It definitely took a little longer than I'd anticipated, but I think it did come out nicely. And as you will see, I did also add in these strings on his fingers that are the same exact color as the blood in Danganronpa, or at least how I'm coloring it in these cards. And that is, in fact, to symbolize the blood on his hands, whether it's Gonta or Miu. So those are there for that reason, as well as the eyes in the background, because I feel like that does symbolize deceit and that was it. I could definitely tell that something was fishy when I read about the Ten of Spades and saw that it represents not only worry and grief, but also imprisonment. And who better to represent imprisonment than the guy who wore a handcuff around his ankle until he died. So this is Ryoma Hoshi. For those who don't know, he is from Danganronpa V3, and he was imprisoned before the Killing Game. He is the ultimate tennis pro, as you will see referenced in the background once I get up to that. And I will say that the hardest part of this drawing was absolutely that little tennis logo, or whatever it is, on his beanie. That took me quite a few tries, as you'll be seeing in a moment. Yeah, there's the struggle. But I finally made it work, and I definitely want to reference his death as well, so you will see a little bit of that in the background, and there we go. And the last one that will be in this video is the girl on fire herself, Celestia Ludenberg from Trigger Happy Havoc. I will have to confess that she is my least favorite Danganronpa character, because I am furious about Ishimaru. And I will say, though, she was a lot of fun to draw after I discovered the mirroring tool after a long time of using this software. So that was definitely really helpful with a design as complicated as hers. And she represents the Queen of Clubs, which is not only described as a confident woman, but also a charismatic woman in a position of power. And I think for someone who is the ultimate gambler, that definitely is a fitting role for her. And as you can see here, I took a lot of time on the hair. The hair was definitely hard to get to a point where I liked what I was doing. However, I did eventually finish it, and she definitely took the longest. However, I do believe that it was worth it, and I gave her that same almost praying position that she has during her execution. And speaking of her execution, you will see a reference to that as well. And that is it. Here are the final results. I am planning to work on a part 2 as soon as I can get to it. So if you are liking what you're seeing and have an idea for another card, just let me know in the comments, and I really hope you enjoyed this video.